ಇಲ್ವಾ?
Okay. Good morning, everybody. I request let us start the district grants management seminar, a very important session of the day. I request ನಮ್ಮ DG ರಾಜಾರಾಮ್ ಭಟ್ರಿಗೆ ಮೀಟಿಂಗ್ ಕಾಲ್ ಟು ಆರ್ಡರ್ ಮಾಡಿ ರಚನಾ ಮಾಧವಾಚಾರ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಶಿವಮೊಗ್ಗ ರೋಟರಿ ಕ್ಲಬ್ ಅವರು ದಯವಿಟ್ಟು ಪ್ರಾರ್ಥನೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಕೇಳ್ಕೊಳ್ತೀನಿ.
Okay. Meeting call to order, sir, for the district grant management seminar of 2020. District grant management seminar of 2020-21-22 has to be started, sir. Okay. Thank you.
ರಚನಾ
ಅನ್ಮ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ.
ಗಜಮುಖ ವಂದಿಸುವೆ ಕರುಣಿಸಿ ಕಾಯೋ, ಗಜಮುಖ ವಂದಿಸುವೆ ಕರುಣಿಸಿ ಕಾಯೋ, ಗಜಮುಖ ವಂದಿಸುವೆ ಗಜಗೌರಿಯ ಪುತ್ರ ಅಜನ ಪಿತನ ಮೊಮ್ಮಗನ ಮೋಹದ ಬಾಲ, ಗಜಮುಖ ವಂದಿಸುವೆ ಕರುಣಿಸಿ ಕಾಯೋ, ಕಾಯೋ. ನೀಲಕಂಠನ ಸುತ ಬಾಲಗಣೇಶನೇ, ನೀಲಕಂಠನ ಸುತ ಬಾಲಗಣೇಶನೇ, ಬಾರಿ ಬಾರಿಗೆ ನೀನ ಭಜನೆ ಮಾಡುವೆನಯ್ಯ, ನೀಲಕಂಠನ ಸುತ ಬಾಲಗಣೇಶನೇ, ಬಾರಿ ಬಾರಿಗೆ ನೀನ ಭಜನೆ ಮಾಡುವೆನಯ್ಯ, ಪರ್ವತನ ಪುತ್ರಿ ಪಾರ್ವತಿಯ ಕುಮಾರ, ಪರ್ವತನ ಪುತ್ರಿ ಪಾರ್ವತಿಯ ಕುಮಾರ, ನರುವೆಯ ಚಂದ್ರಗೆ ಸ್ಥಿರ ಶಾಪವ ಕೊಟ್ಟನೆ, ಗರುವೆಯ ಚಂದ್ರಗೆ ಸ್ಥಿರ ಶಾಪವ ಕೊಟ್ಟನೆ, ಗಜಮುಖ ವಂದಿಸುವೆ ಕರುಣಿಸಿ ಕಾಯೋ, ಗಜಮುಖ ವಂದಿಸುವೆ ಗಜಗೌರಿಯ ಪುತ್ರ ಅಜನ ಪಿತನ ಮೊಮ್ಮಗನ ಮೋಹದ ಬಾಲ, ಗಜಮುಖ ವಂದಿಸುವೆ ಕರುಣಿಸಿ ಕಾಯೋ, ಕಾಯೋ. ಹರಿಹರರು ನಿನ್ನ ಚರಣ ಪೂಜೆಯ ಮಾಡಿ, ಹರಿಹರರು ನಿನ್ನ ಚರಣ ಪೂಜೆಯ ಮಾಡಿ, ದುರುಳ ಕಂಠಕರನ್ನು ಕರಿದು ಬಿಸುಡಿದರಯ್ಯ, ಮತಿ ಕೆಟ್ಟ ರಾವಣ ಪೂಜಿಸದೆ ಸೀತಾಪತಿ ಕರದಿಂದಲೇ ಹತನಾಗಿ ಪೋದನು, ಮಾರಿಜನಾಭ ಶ್ರೀ ಹಯವದನನ ಪಾದ, ವಾರಿಜನಾಭ ಶ್ರೀ ಹಯವದನನ ಪಾದ, ಸೇರುವ ಮಾರ್ಗದ ದಾರಿಯ ತೋರೋ, ಗಜಮುಖ ವಂದಿಸುವೆ ಕರುಣಿಸಿ ಕಾಯೋ, ಗಜಮುಖ ವಂದಿಸುವೆ ಗಜಗೌರಿಯ ಪುತ್ರ ಅಜನ ಪಿತನ ಮೊಮ್ಮಗನ ಮೋಹದ ಬಾಲ, ಗಜಮುಖ ವಂದಿಸುವೆ ಕರುಣಿಸಿ ಕಾಯೋ. ಕಾಯೋ ಕಾಯೋ ಕಾಯೋ.
ನಮ್ಮ ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ಟ್ 318 ಪರವಾಗಿ ನಿಮಗೆ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳನ್ನು ಅರ್ಪಿಸ್ತೇನೆ ಮತ್ತು ದೇವರ ಈ ಒಂದು ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮವನ್ನು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ನಡೆಸಿಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ಅಂತ ಪ್ರಾರ್ಥಿಸಿದ್ದೀರಾ. ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು. ನಾವು ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಓವರ್ ಟು ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ಟ್ ಗವರ್ನರ್ ರಾಜಾರಾಮ್ ಭಟ್. ನಮ್ಮ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದಿರತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಎಲ್ಲರನ್ನು ಸ್ವಾಗತಿಸುವುದು ಮತ್ತು ತಮ್ಮ ಓಪನಿಂಗ್ ರಿಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಕೊಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಕೇಳ್ಕೊಳ್ತೀನಿ.
Good morning, everybody, sir. Today's DG our Ramchandra Murthy, ಹಾಗೂ today inaugural address by Gulam A. Wahavanti sir, ಹಾಗೂ ಶರದ್ ಪೈ ಅವರ global grant project ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡುವವರು, ಹಾಗೂ then our PDG ಲಕ್ಕರಾಜು ಸತ್ಯನಾರಾಯಣ RRFC and our ARFC PDG GK Balakrishna and also our DGN Dr. Gauri and our main DRFC P. Narayan and also PDG Sadanand Chatra District Grant Committee Chairman, all PDGs and also District Trainer PDG Prakash and Councillor Chandrasekhar and all our PDGs and all AGs and especially all the district members present here. Today is the 21 District Grant Management Seminar. For this, we have invited our TRF trustee, Gulam A. Wahavanti, 2018 to 2022. So last year also he came and given a very good speech and very good information also. Today, I welcome you, sir, for this our Grant Management Seminar of 21. Also, I welcome Sharad Pai from District 3170. He is the very good grant global grant project mentor. So I welcome you all for this grant seminar, sir. I also welcome our PDG Lakkaraju Satyanarayana RRFC. For our years also he is the RRFC. Next year also he is the RRFC. So welcome you, sir. I also welcome our own person 3181 PDG GK Balakrishnan ARFC for our today's meeting. I also welcome our DGN Dr. Gauri and also our District Grant Committee Chairman Sadanand Chatra, and also I welcome our DRFC PDG P. Narayan also. He will be giving a brief about our grant. I also welcome all the club participants for this grant seminar. ಇದು ತುಂಬಾ ಒಂದು ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಸೆಮಿನಾರು. ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದು ಕ್ಲಬ್ ಇಂದ ಅಟ್ ಲೀಸ್ಟ್ ಒಬ್ಬರಾದ್ರೂ ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಆಗ್ಲೇಬೇಕು, ಅದರ್ವೈಸ್ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನಾಟ್ ಡೂ ದ ಗ್ಲೋಬಲ್ ಗ್ರಾಂಟ್ ಆರ್ ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ಟ್ ಗ್ರಾಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗೋದೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದೆಮ್ ಆರ್ ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಟುಡೇ. ಸೊ ನಮ್ಮ ಒಂದು ವರ್ಷ ನಾವು ಯಶಸ್ವಿಯಾಗಿ ಮುಗಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇವೆ. ಇನ್ನು ಒಂದು ತಿಂಗಳಿದೆ. ಸೊ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಥಿಂಗ್ ಅವರ್ TRF collection and membership has to be pending. So we have done all the global grant project. 5 ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಅನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೇವೆ. 4 ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಯಾಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. 1 ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಯಾಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಗ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಬಾಕಿ ಇದೆ. ಒಂದು ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ಟ್ ಗ್ರಾಂಟ್ ಸತೆ ನಾವು ಸಬ್ಮಿಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೇವೆ, ಅದು ಸಹ ಸ್ಯಾಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಗ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಬಾಕಿ ಇದೆ. ಅಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಒಂದು ವರ್ಷದ ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಅಪ್ಡೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಸೊ ಒಟ್ಟಿಗೆ 4 ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾರ್ಕಳದ್ದು 25 ಲಕ್ಷ ಚಿಲ್ಲರೆ, ಮತ್ತೆ ರೂರಲ್ ಹಾಸ್ಪಿಟಲ್ ಶೃಂಗೇರಿ ಹಾಸ್ಪಿಟಲ್ ಇದು 51 ಲಕ್ಷ ಚಿಲ್ಲರೆ, ಡಯಾಲಿಸಿಸ್ ಸೆಂಟರ್ ಬೆಳ್ಮಣಿದು ಬಾಳೆಹೊನ್ನೂರಿದು 22.5 ಲಕ್ಷ, ಟ್ರಾಮಾ ಸೆಂಟರ್ ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಕಾರ್ಕಳ ರಾಕ್ ಸಿಟಿದು ಎಟ್ ಕಾರ್ಕಳ ಹಾಸ್ಪಿಟಲ್ TMFI ಹಾಸ್ಪಿಟಲ್ 46 ಲಕ್ಷ ಚಿಲ್ಲರೆ, ಹಾಗೂ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಸ್ಯಾಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಬಾಕಿ ಇರುವಂತ ಪರ್ಕಳ ಹ್ಯಾಪಿ ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ 28 ಲಕ್ಷ, 1,74,5 ಲಕ್ಷದ್ದು ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟು ಗ್ಲೋಬಲ್ ಗ್ರಾಂಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಇನ್ನು ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ಟ್ ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಪೆಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಇದೆ 14 ಲಕ್ಷದ ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ಟ್ ಗ್ರಾಂಟ್ ಪೆಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಇದೆ. ಒಟ್ಟಿಗೆ 1,89 ಲಕ್ಷ ರೂಪಾಯಿಯ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ನಾವು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೇವೆ. ನಮ್ಮ ಇಷ್ಟವರೆಗಿದ ಕರೆಕ್ಷನ್ $1,20,000. That means about 90 lakhs ರೂಪೀಸ್ ಮಾತ್ರ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಅದರ ಡಬಲ್ ಇದು ನಮ್ಮ ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಅದು ಅಲ್ಲದೆ ನಮಗೆ ಕಳೆದ ವರ್ಷದ 4 ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ನಮ್ಮ ಟೈಮ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಯಾಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಗಿ ರಿಲೀಸ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಶಿವಮೊಗ್ಗ ನಾರ್ತ್ ಇದು 27.5 ಲಕ್ಷ, ಎಪಿ ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ RC ಉಡುಪಿದು 44.5 ಲಕ್ಷ, RC ಶಿವಮೊಗ್ಗದ ಎಪಿ ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ ಇದು 29.5 ಲಕ್ಷ, ಹಾಗೂ ರೂರಲ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ಸರ್ ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನಿಂಗ್ ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಹಾಸನ ಕಾಂಟದ್ದು 25 ಲಕ್ಷ, 1,26,00,000 ರೂಪಾಯಿದು ಕಳೆದ ವರ್ಷ ಅಡ್ಮಿಷನ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದು ಈ ವರ್ಷ ಸ್ಯಾಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಗಿ ರಿಲೀಸ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಸೊ ನಾವು ಏನ್ ಕೊಡ್ತೇವೆ ಅದರಿಂದ ಡಬಲ್ ಆಗಿ ನಾವು ತಗೊಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇವೆ. ಇದನ್ನು ಮನಗಂಡು ಆದಷ್ಟು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಜನ ರೋಟರಿ TRF ಗೆ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ಅಂತ ಈ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಇಚ್ಛೆ ಪಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ. ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಸಂತೋಷದ ವಿಷಯ ಏನಂದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ರಿಪೋರ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಲೆವೆಲ್ ಆಫ್ ಅವರ್ ಗ್ರಾಂಟ್ ಇಸ್ 100%. So I congratulate our P. Narayan for his effort to make this level 100%. So ನಮ್ಮ ಯಾವ ಒಂದು ಗ್ರಾಂಟ್ ಪೆಂಡಿಂಗ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ತುಂಬಾ ಸಂತೋಷ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ನಾನು ಹೋದ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕ್ಲಬ್ ವಿಸಿಟ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ everybody told they will give 100% to the contribution. Most of them have given and some club has yet to give. So please pay in another within a month, so that you have given send the account also, new virtual account has to be sent, make the RTGS of each members what they were given, to take it and to the club account and to pay it on the RTGS and send to TRF. So I wish this grant function will be very much success. Thank you, sir. ಮ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಅನ್ಮ್ಯೂಟ್.
ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ರಾಜಾರಾಮ್ ಭಟ್, ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ಟ್ ಗವರ್ನರ್. ನಮ್ಮ ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ಟ್ ಗವರ್ನರ್ 21-22 ಆಗಿ 21-22 ನನ್ನ ವಿಷನ್ ಹೇಳೋದಾದ್ರೆ, ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ಟ್ ಗ್ರಾಂಟ್ಸ್ ಬಹಳ ಮುಖ್ಯವಾದ ವಿಷಯ, ರೋಟರಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಬಹಳ ಕಷ್ಟದ ವಿಷಯ ಮತ್ತು ಮುಖ್ಯವಾದ ವಿಷಯ. ಅದು ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಮುಖ್ಯವಾದ, ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಕಷ್ಟವಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ಟ್ ಗ್ರಾಂಟ್ ಅನ್ನೋದೇನಿದೆ ಅದರ ಪ್ರೊಸೆಸ್ಸು, ಅದನ್ನು ತಗೊಳ್ಳೋವಂಥದ್ದು, ಮತ್ತು ನಾವು ಕೊಡೋಂಥದ್ದು, ಮತ್ತು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಕಂಪ್ಲೈನ್ಸ್ ಪ್ರೊಸೀಜರು. ಸೊ ಇದೆಲ್ಲನೂ ಕೂಡ ಬಹಳ ಕ್ರಿಟಿಕಲ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಒಂಥರ ಕಾಂಪ್ಲೆಕ್ಸ್ ಇಶ್ಯೂಸ್. ಸೊ ಅದನ್ನು ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋ ಒಂದು ದೃಷ್ಟಿಯಿಂದ ಈ ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ಟ್ ಗ್ರಾಂಟ್ ಸೆಮಿನಾರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. ಮೈ ಡಿಯರ್ ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ಟ್ ಗವರ್ನರ್ ರಾಜಾರಾಮ್ ಭಟ್, ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ಟ್ DRFC ನಾರಾಯಣ್, and then district grants committee chairman ಸದಾನಂದ್ ಚಾತ್ರ ಅವರೇ, ಮತ್ತು ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ಟ್ ಕೌನ್ಸಿಲರ್ ಚಂದ್ರಶೇಖರ್, ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ಟ್ ಟ್ರೈನರ್ GN ಪ್ರಕಾಶ್, ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ಟ್ ಅಡ್ವೈಸರ್ HL ರವಿ, and all my district secretariat members, district secretary Udaypete, and past district governors Bharatesh, and all the other international service director Bharatesh for our period, and all the speakers present here, and all my proud assistant governors, zonal lieutenants, zonal trainers, Rotarians, president ಹೇಳಿದಾಗೆ ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ಟ್ ಗ್ರಾಂಟ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಬಹಳ ಮುಖ್ಯವಾದ ವಿಷಯ. ಒಂದು ರೋಟರಿ ವರ್ಷದಲ್ಲಿ, ಯಾವುದೇ ವರ್ಷ ಆಗ್ಬೋದು ಕೂಡ, ರೋಟರಿ ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ಟ್ ಗ್ರಾಂಟ್ ಅನ್ನೋದೇನಿದೆ ಬಹಳ ಮುಖ್ಯವಾಗಿ ಇದು. ಅದು ಬಂದಾಗ ನಾವೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಆ ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟು ಮತ್ತು ಆ ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಟಿಗೆ ಆಗುವಂಥ ಬೆನಿಫಿಟ್ಟು, ಇದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ನೋಡಿದಾಗ ನಮಗೆ ಭಾಳ ಖುಷಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಆದರೆ ನೀವು ಯಾರಿಗೆ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು ಕೂಡ ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ಟ್ ಗ್ರಾಂಟನ್ನು ಮಾಡೋಣ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, ಆ ಪ್ರೋಸೆಸ್ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಆ ಪ್ರೋಸೆಸ್ಸನ್ನು ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಯಾರು ತಯಾರಾಗಲ್ಲ. ಅದು ಬಹಳ ಮುಖ್ಯವಾಗಿ ಬೇಕಾಗಿರೋದು. ಆಮೇಲೆ ರೀಸೆಂಟ್ ಟೈಮ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗಿದೆ, ಎವ್ರಿ ಇಯರ್ ದೇರ್ ಈಸ್ ಎ ಲಾಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಚೇಂಜಸ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಆನ್. ಸೊ ಚೇಂಜಸ್ ಇನ್ ಪ್ರೊಸೀಜರ್, ಚೇಂಜಸ್ ಇನ್ ಗ್ರಾಂಟ್ ಮೆಥಡಾಲಜಿ, ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಬಂದಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಅದನ್ನ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳದೆ ಇದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತಲೇ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗಲ್ಲ. ಹಿಂದೆ ಇದ್ದಿದ್ದು ಬೇರೆ, ಈಗ ನಾವು 2 ವರ್ಷದಿಂದ 4 ವರ್ಷದಿಂದ 7 ಏರಿಯಾಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಫೋಕಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರಬೇಕು. ಈಗ ನಾವು 6 ಏರಿಯಾಸ್ ಇತ್ತು, 7 ಏರಿಯಾಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಫೋಕಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಅದು ಕವರ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಇರೋದು. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಇದಕ್ಕೆಲ್ಲ ಸೂಟಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಇರುತ್ತಾ ಅಂತ ಎಲ್ಲ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳುವಂಥ ವಿಷಯಗಳು ಬಹಳ ಮುಖ್ಯವಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ಕ್ಲಬ್ಬಿಗೆ ಒಂದು ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ಟ್ ಗ್ರಾಂಟ್ಸ್ ತಗೋಬೇಕು, ಗ್ಲೋಬಲ್ ಗ್ರಾಂಟು ಅಥವಾ ಬೇರೆ ಯಾವುದೇ ಗ್ರಾಂಟನ್ನು ನಾವು ರೋಟರಿ ಫೌಂಡೇಶನ್ ತಗೋಬೇಕು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಏನೇನು ಪೂರಕವಾಗಿ ನಾವು ಅದನ್ನು ರೆಡಿ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋದು ಬಹಳ ಮುಖ್ಯ. ಸೊ ಆ ರೆಡಿನೆಸ್, ನೀವೀಗ ಪ್ರೆಸಿಡೆಂಟ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಅಧ್ಯಕ್ಷರಾಗಿ, ಕಾರ್ಯದರ್ಶಿಗಳಾಗಿ, ಅಸಿಸ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಗವರ್ನರ್ ಆಗಿ ರೆಡಿನೆಸ್ ಇದೆ ಈಗ ನಿಮಗೆ. ಜುಲೈ 1st ಇಂದ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಟೇಕ್ ಓವರ್. ಸೊ ಲಾಟ್ ಆಫ್ ನಾಲೆಡ್ಜ್ ಈಗ ಪೆಟ್ ಸೆಟ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ, ಮತ್ತೆ ಪ್ರೀವಿಯಸ್ AGTS ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ, ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ಟ್ ಟ್ರೈನಿಂಗ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ. ಸೊ ಇದನ್ನ ಮುಂದುವರಿತಾ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ಅಟ್ ವಿಷಯಗಳು ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡಾಗ ನಮಗೆ ಅದು ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ನಮಗೆ ಪೂರಕವಾಗಿ ತುಂಬ ಸಹಾಯ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಈ ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ಟ್ ಗ್ರಾಂಟ್ ಸೆಮಿನಾರ್ ಏನಿದೆ ಅದು ಆ್ಯಕ್ಚುಲಿ ನಮ್ಮ ವರ್ಷದಲ್ಲಿ ಆಗತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಏನೇನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ನಮಗೆ ಆ್ಯಕ್ಚುಲಿ ನಮಗೆ ಇವತ್ತು ಗುಲಾಮ್ ವಹನ್ಮತಿ ಅವರು ಸಿಕ್ಕಿರೋದು ಬಹಳ ಸಂತೋಷ. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ವರ್ಚುವಲ್ ಮೀಟಿಂಗ್ ಆದ್ರಿಂದ ನಾವು ಯಾರಕ್ಕೂ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂರಿಸಿ ನಾವು ಅವರಿಂದ ಒಂದು ಮಾರ್ಗದರ್ಶನ ತಗೊಳ್ಳೋಂಥ ಒಂದು ಅವಕಾಶ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಮಗೆ ವರ್ಚುವಲ್ ಮೀಟಿಂಗ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸಿಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಐ ಆಮ್ ವೆರಿ ಹ್ಯಾಪಿ ಅಂಡ್ ಪ್ರಿವಿಲೇಜ್ ಟು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಗುಲಾಮ್ ವಹನ್ಮತಿ ಇನ್ ದಿಸ್ meeting. Is a trustee for Rotary Foundation, and also the Lakkaraju, and then Sharat Pai, and then also GK, and our own Dr. Narayan DRFC is going to speak on so many subjects. ಇವತ್ತಿನ ವಿಷಯಗಳನ್ನ ಅವರು ಮಂಡನೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಅದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲದೂ ಗಮನವಹಿಸಿ ಆದರೆ ಒಂದು ನೋಟ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನು ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಅದರ ಮುಂದಿನ ಒಂದು ಪೂರಕವಾಗಿ ಗ್ಲೋಬಲ್ ಗ್ರಾಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ ಏನ್ ಬೇಕೋ ಅದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಒಂದು ನೀವು ತಯಾರಿ ಆಗಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಕೇಳ್ಕೊಳ್ತೀನಿ. ಮತ್ತೆ ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ಟ್ ನಮ್ಮ ಸೌತ್ ಏಷ್ಯಾ ಆಫೀಸ್ ಡೆಲ್ಲಿಯಿಂದ ಕೂಡ ಜಾನ್ ಮತ್ತು ವಿಲಿಯಮ್ಸ್ ಅವರು ಜಾಯಿನ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅವರು ಒಂದು ಅರ್ಧ ಗಂಟೆ ಅದರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಅಪ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್ ಪ್ರೋಸೆಸ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ತಿಳಿಸ್ಕೊಡೋರಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ವಿಷಯಗಳನ್ನ ನಾವು ಮುಂದಿನ 2 ಗಂಟೆಗಳ ಕಾಲದಲ್ಲಿ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇವೆ. ಸೊ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ನಮ್ಮ 2021-22 ಒಂದು ಟಾರ್ಗೆಟ್ ಏನಪ್ಪಾ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ಈಗ ನಮ್ಮ ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ಟ್ ಗವರ್ನರ್ ಅವರು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು ಎಷ್ಟು ಮಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಅವರು ಅಚೀವ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಐ ಆಮ್ ಇನ್ ದಿಸ್ ಮೊಮೆಂಟ್ ಐ ಹಾರ್ಟಿಲಿ ಕಂಗ್ರ್ಯಾಚುಲೇಟ್. ನಾವು ಒಂದು ಅಭಿನಂದನೆಗಳನ್ನ ನಮ್ಮ ರಾಜಾರಾಮ್ ಭಟ್ರಿಗೆ ನಿಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರ ಪರವಾಗಿ ಕೊಡಕ್ಕೆ ಇಷ್ಟಪಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ಯಾಕೆಂತಂದ್ರೆ 6 ಗ್ಲೋಬಲ್ ಗ್ರಾಂಟು ಮತ್ತು ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ಗ್ರಾಂಟ್ಸ್ ನ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ತಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ತಮ್ಮ ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಟಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಅದು ಟು ಚೇಂಜ್ ದ ಲೈಫ್ಸ್ ಹಿ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಯೂಸ್ಡ್ ಇಟ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಹಿ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಗಾಟ್ ದ and used all the opportunities to see that the global grants used properly and used for the community development. So ಈ ತರ ನಾವು ನೋಡಿದಾಗ ಅವ್ರು ಹೇಳ್ದಂಗೆ ಅವರು ಬಹಳ ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾಗಿ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು, ಅದು ನಾವು ತಗೊಳ್ಳೋದು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಕೊಡೋದು ಕಡಿಮೆ ಅಂತ. ಈಗ ಈಸ್ ಟ್ರೈಯಿಂಗ್ ಇನ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಔಟ್ ಟು ಸಿ ದಟ್ ದಿ ಟಾರ್ಗೆಟ್ ಈಸ್ ರೀಚ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ಫಾರ್ as the TRF is concerned. ಸೊ ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಸದಸ್ಯರಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಕೊಡೋದನ್ನು ಕಲ್ತ್ಕೋಬೇಕು, ಹಾಗೆ ನಾವು ತಗೊಳ್ಳೋದನ್ನು ಅಲ್ಲಿಂದ TRF ಇಂದ ನಾವು ಗ್ಲೋಬಲ್ ಗ್ರಾಂಟ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನು ತಂದು ಅಲ್ಟಿಮೇಟ್ ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಈಸ್ ಟು ಸರ್ವ್ ದ ಸೊಸೈಟಿ, ಟು ಚೇಂಜ್ ದ ಲೈಫ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಪೀಪಲ್. ಸೊ ಇದನ್ನ ನೀವು ಗಮನ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ, ನನ್ನ ಟಾರ್ಗೆಟ್ ಏನಪ್ಪಾ ಅಂದ್ರೆ 21-22ಗೆ 21-22ರಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಏಜಿಗಳು 11 ಜನ ಏಜಿಗಳು ಗವರ್ನರ್ ಪ್ಲಸ್ 12 ಗ್ಲೋಬಲ್ ಗ್ರಾಂಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ಮಾಡುವಂತ ಒಂದು ಟಾರ್ಗೆಟ್ ಅನ್ನು ನಾವು ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಣ. ನಮ್ಮ ಗುಲಾಮ್ ವಹನ್ಮತಿ ಅವರು ನಮಗೆ ಹೋದ ವರ್ಷ ಬಂದಾಗ ನನಗೆ ಒಂದು ಗ್ಯಾರಂಟಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ರು. ಏನಪ್ಪಾ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಏನ್ ರೀತಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಗುಲಾಮ್ ವಹನ್ಮತಿ ನಾನಿದ್ದೀನಿ TRF ಟ್ರಸ್ಟಿ ಇನ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ, and then DRFC Narayan is there, and then RI President Mehta is there. So what else you want? You do whatever is best you possible anta. That is the same message I am giving it to you all. You have got a lot of opportunity to get it, and also at the same time I request you to kindly to see that we contribute funds to the TRF ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ, this year mantra ಏನಪ್ಪಾ ಅಂದ್ರೆ do more grow more. Do more grow more. Grow more is by taking the membership and have their participation. ಆದಷ್ಟು ಮೆಂಬರ್ಸ್ನ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಸಿಪೇಷನ್ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್. ಅಟ್ ದ ಸೇಮ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಡೂ ಮೋರ್ ಟು ಚೇಂಜ್ ದ ಲೈಫ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಪೀಪಲ್. ಸೊ ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ದೊಡ್ಡ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ಗಳನ್ನ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಗ್ಲೋಬಲ್ ಗ್ರಾಂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ನಮ್ಮ TRF ಗ್ರಾಂಟ್ಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡೋ ಅವಕಾಶ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಇದೆಲ್ಲನೂ ನಾವು ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಯಾವ್ದಪ್ಪ ದ ಗ್ರೇಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಪ್ಲೆಜರ್ ಇನ್ ಲೈಫ್ ಯಾವುದು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ದ ಗ್ರೇಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಪ್ಲೆಜರ್ ಇನ್ ಲೈಫ್ is doing what the people say you cannot do it. Now you can think of ನಿಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಮನಸ್ಸಲ್ಲೇ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಅಯ್ಯೋ ಗ್ಲೋಬಲ್ ಗ್ರಾಂಟ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ನಮಗೆ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ. ನೋ, you cannot do it ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ನೀವು, if you do it, then the people, that is the greatest pleasure. Now your mind may be saying that I may not be able to do it, but when you do it, it is the great pleasure in your life you will experience. ಸೊ ಈ ಒಂದು ಮೆಸೇಜ್ ಅನ್ನ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ, ಈ ವರ್ಷ ನಮ್ಮ ಗ್ಲೋಬಲ್ ಗ್ರಾಂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡೋಣ ಅಂತ ನಿಮಗೆಲ್ಲ ಒಂದು ಕಳಕಳಿಯ ಮನವಿಯನ್ನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ನನ್ನ ಓಪನಿಂಗ್ ರಿಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನು ಮುಗಿಸ್ತೇನೆ. ಮತ್ತು ಐ ಹೋಪ್ ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ವೆರಿ ಮಚ್. ಸೊ ಗುಲಾಮ್ ವಹನ್ಮತಿ ಅವರು ಆನ್ಲೈನ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದಾರಾ?
ಬಂದಿಲ್ಲ ಸರ್.
ನಾರಾಯಣ್
ಬಂದಿಲ್ಲ.
ಹಾ, ನಾರಾಯಣ್ ಸರ್.
Now, shall I try him again?
Definitely.
11:30 he promised that he would log in.
Okay, I think Narayan can go ahead ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತಲ್ವಾ?
ಅಲ್ಲ ಬಯೋಡೇಟಾ ಹಾಕಿ ಎಷ್ಟೊತ್ತಿಗೆ ಬರ್ಬೋದು ನೋಡೋಣ.
ಅಲ್ಲ ಅವ್ರು ಬಂದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಹಾಕೋಣ ಅಂತ.
ಬಂದ್ಮೇಲೆ
ಬಂದ್ರು. ಗುಲಾಂ ಮಹಮ್ಮತಿ is very much on the screen.
Is joined.
ಬಂದ್ರಾ? ಗುಡ್.
Sir, welcome to
welcome.
our session.
Welcome, Gulam. You are right, just on time. Just unmute yourself. Just unmute yourself. You are just
Yes,
on
sir.
time. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you, Dr. Narayan. Real pleasure to be with all of you. 3182 is special. I see Rajaram, I see MGR, I see you. So all the best. Thank you. Whenever you want,
you.
I'm ready.
That's so good.
Yeah, that's what I have already told, sir.
Yes.
That's what I have already told. I have told that Gulam Mehmati is always available to us. And before last year, you have told me that when Gulam Mehmati is with me, with MGR, so much knowledge tank is there with you. And over and above that, the RI President Mehta is there. Why do you bother? Don't go ahead with whatever possible. So that was you had told. I remember that words. Thank you very much. Welcome to this session. And I request Mohan, webmaster, to audiovisual introduction of our TRF trustee Gulam Mehmati.
ವಾಹನವಾಟಿ
ಇಲ್ಲ ಸಾಕು ಸರಿ
VATY.
ಸೌಂಡ್ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಫೋನ್ ಸೌಂಡ್ ಇಲ್ಲ.
ಅಲ್ಲ ಆಡಿಯೋನೂ ಇಲ್ಲ.
ಫೋನ್ ಆಡಿಯೋ
and video.
Mohan, we are not getting an audio.
ಸರ್ ಅದು ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ, ಪ್ಲೇ ಆಗ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. ಸಮ್ ಇಶ್ಯೂ ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ. ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದಾರೆ ಮೋಹನ್.
ಮೋಹನ್ ಆಡಿಯೋ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ.
I will do it. ಪ್ಲೇ ಬಟನ್ ಕಾಣ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ.
ಪ್ಲೇ ಮಾಡಿ
ಒಂದೇ ನಿಮಿಷ.
ಬಂತಲ್ಲ.
PDG Gulam is an alumnus of India's finest institutions, St. Xavier's College, Bombay. PDG Gulam is an alumnus of India's finest institutions, St. Xavier's College, Bombay and IIM, Calcutta. Having graduated in business management, he joined the prestigious Tata Administrative Services in 1970 and then entered the family business of scrap processing and ship breaking in 1974 and since then has forayed into diversified businesses. During his study at St. Xavier's College, he was elected the first student chairman of the Students' Union Council in 1967-68. Before Gulam became a Rotarian, he was selected on the Rotary GSC team from District 314 to District 656, Indiana, USA in 1978. He was invited to join the Rotary Club of Bombay Downtown in 1979 and became its president in 1985-86 and later moved to RC Mumbai in 2015. In 2002-2003, RID 3140 unanimously elected Gulam as its district governor. A major project during his tenure was the railway station adoption project, Janaseva Abhiyan, when the Rotary clubs of his district made it their mission to ease the hassles associated with local rail commuting. As a district governor, Ghulam also inspired record contributions to the Rotary Foundation from his district, $654,000, the largest contribution by any Rotary district. Ghulam's commitment and his training and motivational skills have been duly acknowledged when he was assigned several Rotary International tasks by Rotary International and the Rotary Foundation. He served as a Regional Rotary Foundation Coordinator, member of Rotary Peace Centers Committee, RI Training Leader for 2007 and again for 2008, Chairman of RI Communications Committee, member of Future Vision Committee, RI President's representative to many district conferences in India, Australia, USA and New Zealand. He has been appointed TRF trustee from July 2018 to 2022. In 2021, Trustee Ghulam has been appointed the Chairman of the Stewardship Committee of the Trustees of the Rotary Foundation. A major donor, he is a recipient of Rotary International's Service Above Self Award and the Rotary Foundation's citation for Meritorious Service and Distinguished Service Award. Ghulam's motto of service encompasses other initiatives too. He is a member of the governing board of Mumbai First, a high-powered group of citizens committed to improve the quality of life in Mumbai, the Mohalla Committee Movement Trust, and Public Concern for Governance Trust that work for probity in public life and promoting communal harmony. Horses are dear to Ghulam and he has been a proficient rider from childhood. He was a committee member and the chairman of stewards of Royal Western India Turf Club Limited. He resigned from both when he became the trustee of TRF. Ghulam's son Zamir, a partner in the family business, daughter-in-law Khatija, granddaughter Sumaira, daughter Zahabia, son-in-law Satpal Branch, and their sons Rishan and Jayan are testaments of the inclusiveness and understanding of this remarkable individual. Ghulam married Hasina in the December of 1970. Hasina, the love of Ghulam's life, has been his strength and support till she passed into the ages on the New Year's Day in 2015. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting to you TRF Trustee PDG Ghulam A. Vahanwati.
So welcome to Ghulam sir. I have seen him as a very down-to-earth person, very knowledgeable, and is the right person to be in the as a TRF trustee. I want to see him. Our district wants to see him as the TRF chairman of Rotary International, and definitely whenever we talk to him, very pleasant personality. That's what I just observed with him. And thank you very much for your presence in our this district grant seminar, sir, because he has got today has to attend his own district conference. Another J. Sridhar, another my colleagues again TRF seminar and the district grant seminar and all that. With all this business, he is present here. Thank you once again. I welcome you, sir, to our district. And now I request you kindly to give away your inaugural address for the district grant management seminar.
Thank you very much, DG MGR Murthy. Very, very kind words that you have said. I am really very grateful to you. Thank you. I also want to thank my friend, past district governor and your DRFCC, Dr. Narayan, for both of you for inviting me. And I also express my thanks to Rotarian Mohan, who is facilitating my PowerPoint later on. Thank you. So let me begin by recognizing the presence of Governor Rajaram Bhatt, Convener Governor-elect M.G. Ramachandra Murthy, District Councillor, past Governor Chandrasekhar, District Mentor, past Governor Abhinandan Shetty, Advisor H.L. Ravi, District Trainer, past Governor Prakash, DRFCC, of course, past Governor Dr. Narayan, DGSC, past Governor Sadanand Chatra, other distinguished past governors, DGN Dr. Gauri, DGND BC Geeta, club presidents, club secretaries, district officers, assistant governors, fellow Rotarians, ladies and gentlemen, good morning, or is it good afternoon? Still good morning. Good morning and namaskar. I'm also very, very happy to see my friend RRFC Tiku here today. Tiku, thank you for being here and always a pleasure to see you. Let me begin by thanking, let me say that these are very difficult times that we are going through. I have, addressed several virtual meetings since the beginning of this pandemic, since last March. And sometimes I used to address 2 or 3 Zoom meetings in a day. And I always spoke about the tough times that we were going through. But I tell you honestly, in my heart, I believe that by March, April of 2021, we were going to be completely victorious against this pandemic, and we would have won the war against this dreaded virus. Well, clearly that was wishful thinking. The virus has not only mutated, it has grown more vicious, more dangerous, and is causing so much misery all over our country. Family and friends have been severely affected. And I tell you, my friends, Rotary's taken on the campaign of promoting vaccinations. And clearly, vaccinations are the only permanent answer. They've begun. Unfortunately, there's been a little slowing down. But till we are all vaccinated, we must continue to be safe, stay safe, wear masks, and observe physical distancing. And I must really express my grateful thanks for those brilliant inventors who invented this technology, such as Zoom or Microsoft Teams or Google, that allows us to stay virtually connected. It is because of this medium that I can stay connected with not only my friends outside Mumbai, but my family, which stays outside the country also. And of course, most importantly, I stay connected with my Rotary family. DG Rajaram Bhatt, please accept my compliments for your commitment to Rotary and especially the Rotary Foundation. You have led this district through very, very difficult times. And thanks to your leadership, clubs have been doing much needed service projects. The growth in membership and the contributions that you have been able to motivate Rotarians to give are heartwarming. I'm sure you can do much more, but what you have done is encouraging and I thank you. In these remaining 30 days, I urge you to push the envelope and motivate Rotarians to give to our foundation, especially to Annual Fund and Polio. I have so many friends in District 3182. If I had to list all the names of past governors, it would take very long. But let me recognize the contribution that every single past governor has made to District 3182. This district stands on the shoulders of these giant men and women, I hope, soon. I see Dr. Gauri, I see Rotarian Geeta. All of them are going to be the pillars. They have been pillars and they will continue to be the great pillars of your district. So I thank each and every past governor and the incoming governors for their service to District 3182 particularly and Rotary in general. But I must especially, I must recognize my friend Dr. Narayan. He and I go back many years. He has been one of the committed leaders in the fight, truly in the fight against polio. We have worked well with each other. He has, we've worked well. We really have been together on many committees. And I always count on Dr. Narayan's support. Thank you, Dr. Narayan. Really appreciate it. Thank you. I came to know Governor-elect MGR Murthy only a few months ago. Of course, I would have got to know him much better if we had the privilege of actually going to the International Assembly. But thanks to this pandemic, that was not to be. Notwithstanding, we have been in several Zoom meetings together, and I have come to recognize him as a soft-spoken leader who says what he has to, not too often, but whatever he says with firmness. He is totally committed to service projects that serve the underprivileged. DG Murthy, I know of your commitment to serving the needy and also to our Rotary Foundation. With your leadership, I am confident that we can look forward to a very fruitful 21-22 in District 3182. You and Rotary and Surekha will have my support at all times. 14 months ago, in March last year, the pandemic was declared. Let me straight away say that disasters should never happen. How one prays that COVID-19 was a dream. However, experts tell us that pandemics will happen and that we should be prepared for the next wave. Having said that, what our foundation has learned is that in times of calamities, people become more generous and contribute to causes they believe in. This year, you will be very happy to know, worldwide, we are raising more funds than we did for the same period last year. For India, this is not entirely true. We are close, and I am hopeful that Rotarians and others will give generously in the 30 days remaining, and we will do better than last year. I'm confident. However, there is a caveat, there is a warning, and this is true even in normal times. We must make people aware of our programs. We must have effective communication and awareness programs. These are very essential if we want people to contribute to our foundation. For several years now, there has been a downward trend in annual fund contributions. And this downward trend in annual fund contributions has put the World Fund under intense pressure. Because as you know, 50% of the annual fund 3 years later comes to the DDF and 50% goes to the World Fund. Now, the decision that the trustees took on the 1st of July 2020 to stop World Fund matching for cash contributions was not taken lightly. Please know that such serious decisions are taken after much discussion and because there is no better alternative. As I will show you, you will see that the success of our global grants has been unmistakable, but our annual fund has not kept pace. And may I now request Rotarian Mohan to please start the PowerPoint. You make it the full screen, please. Thank you. Next slide. So what I am going to show you, please pay careful attention to this slide. This is a 7-year details of global grants and the World Fund. What is on the left is the Global Grant Fund and the World Fund match. And on the right, and the yellow slide, is the annual fund contribution for the same 7-year period. So if you see the first year in 2013-14, there were a total of 868 grants, totaling to $47.3 million. And the World Fund match for those global grants was $21.6 million. Come 7 years later to 1920, the global grants increased to 1,350, worth $95.6 million. And the World Fund match increased to $42.6 million. So the number of global grants increased by 50%, but the funding increased from 47 to 95, that's 100%. And the World Fund also match increased from 21 to 42, which is 100%. Now I want you to look at the yellow slide, the yellow part of this slide. Again, the same 7-year period, which shows you that the annual fund in 13-14 was $116.6 million. In 1920, 7 years later, it increased to $123.6 million. That's an increase of only $7 million, which is a 5% increase. Now you compare those two, 100% increase in the World Fund match and a 5% increase in the annual fund contribution. Now this is the worldwide picture. What is even more disturbing is the India picture. Next slide, Mon. Again, the same 7-year period, the number of global grants, the total global grant amount in 13-14 for India was $6.3 million. Just see the remarkable increase 7 years later. From 6.3, it went to $28.4 million. That's an increase of 5 times, almost 5 times, almost 500%. And then you look at the right, that's the annual fund contribution. We have literally stayed the same. Yes, there was a slight increase as it was all over the world also during the centenary year. But if you take the average, we are where we were 7 years ago. Can you see this mismatch, my friends? In 1920, the total global grant amount was $28 million for India, and our annual fund contribution was just $7 million. So because of the high demand for global grants, next one please, which is far exceeding and outpacing the growth in annual fund contributions. We just don't change now, Mohan, I'll tell you when to change. You have seen the high demand for global grants, which far outpaces the growth in annual fund contributions. And every year for the last 2 or 3 years, we have been seeing that the World Fund is finishing by January, February. Global grants are not being able to be matched. This would have been the same situation even this year. You know, but we as trustees saved a fair amount of money through not traveling, through reduced, in fact, zero travel, therefore no cost of meetings, no cost of hotels. We even cut down on staff. We've tried to save money. We saved $4.4 million. We transferred the entire amount to World Fund. On our own, the trustees took a decision that we would transfer $7.5 million from our reserves, our World Fund reserves, to the World Fund this year. And we requested the RI board, because they also had saved money, to please transfer $7.5 million, match us into the World Fund. They did. So 4.4 million, 7.5 million, 7.5 million. A total of $20 million has been added to the World Fund this year. And that is why, my friends, we are still able to get the World Fund match now. Had we not done this, they would have been finished by the end of February. So what I'm trying to tell you, that a financial shortfall is expected this year and very likely in the coming years because of the growing success of our global grant program, which is great. I think we are here for service and our global grants must continue to grow. But at the same time, we have to be conscious that the annual fund has to increase. You know, we cannot keep drawing on our World Fund reserves year after. We cannot. There is a statutory limit below which we cannot go. And therefore, the trustees have taken some very critical decisions which are going to come into force on the 1st of July. So may I request Mohan to put the next slide on, please. So the first one relates to the match on polio fund contributions from DDF. Today, till 30th June, it is 100%. If you give $1,000 to the World Fund, from your DDF to the polio fund, the World Fund matches you 100%. So $2,000 are matched 2-to-1 by the Bill and Melinda Gates, which is therefore $4,000, and that becomes $6,000, 6-to-1. But from July 1st, the World Fund will match only 50%. The Bill and Melinda Gates match does not change. It still remains 2-to-1, but the calculations change. So the example is from DDF, if you give after 1st of July, 20,000, the World Fund will match you only 10,000. And this 30,000 is matched 2-to-1. That becomes a total of 60,000. So $20,000 has become 60,000, 3-to-1. That is the change. Next slide, please. Now, this directly affects all of us. Currently, as you know, the World Fund is matching 100% for DDF to global grants. But from the 1st of July, the World Fund match for DDF transfers will be reduced from 100 to 80% for global grants. So please bear in mind that from the 1st of July, all your global grant applications will be matched 80% if you give DDF. Now this year, there are certain rules. I don't want to get into details. They ensure that those who have totally submitted global grants, and if the World Fund match remains, we will give you your full 100%. Next one, please. So this is the third change, which is actually a ledger entry, but it's important that I share it with you. We take away $5 for operating expenses. We've been taking this from year after year, but we've only taken it totally from the annual fund. But from the 1st of July, we have distributed the $5 operating expenses to $2.50 from the World Fund and $2.50 from the DDF. So that $5 remains, but you are now sharing it with the World Fund and the DDF. Last one. The last one relates to, next slide. This really is for unused DDF. It truly doesn't affect Indian districts simply because we use all our DDF. But there are many, many districts in the world which just do not use their DDF. And the trustees have taken a decision that, look, DDF is meant to be used. It's not a savings account. It's a current account. You've got to use that money. And you've got to use it well in time every year. But if you do roll over, you cannot roll over more than 5 years. And so after 5 years, so on the 1st of July 2026, the rollover amount will be transferred to any one of the funds that we have designated. It could be Endowment Fund, Area of Focus Fund, Polio Plus, Rotary Peace Centers, Disaster Response, or the World Fund, as you designate. If you do not designate any fund, then by default, it will go to the World Fund. But as I mentioned, it doesn't come into effect for 5 years. And frankly, the effect on Indian districts is going to be very little. So I've told you the 4 changes. I want to now see what the District 3182 has been doing for the last 5 years. So can we have the next slide, please? Go on, next slide.
Go on, next slide.
Sir,
Next slide. On.
sir,
Next slide.
net problem ಇರಬೇಕು.
Thank you. Yeah. Next one.
Right.
So this is the 5-year picture from 1617 to 2021. It also shows the current year. So, you know, the peak was, of course, in the centenary year, 1617. But otherwise, we've been at the 150,000 mark, and I'm hopeful that DG Rajaram will come up to that figure. You've given a good amount for $94,000 to the annual fund. I'm only requesting you to make your last motivational push, DG Rajaram, and to your team, that you can do your best to make sure that we reach a very handsome total of what you had committed to. At least reach it as much as you can.
Yes.
We would all be very grateful to you, both the annual fund and polio. I wish you well on that. The only thing that you need to look at is, why is it that we are not getting endowments from individuals? 3182. I think 3182 has the capacity and the capabilities of individuals giving in memory of their loved ones or in their own name, make an endowment fund, and you could have it over 3 years. You don't have to make the entire $25,000 in one shot. That's my request. I would hope that you can do that. So I want you to now go to the next. I want you to pay special attention. You know, I've shown you the annual fund. I don't know why these lines are coming, Mohan, but let's leave it. I want you to go to the next slide and tell you, this is, you know, annual funds really happen in a big way with small gifts. Now, you may not believe this. So I'm going to take you to a total eye-opener in terms of the significance of small gifts. Mohan, let's get on to the next slide and just be sure that you operated the way we have done it earlier. Yeah. So this is the total annual fund contribution for the year last year, 1920. And it shows you the total number of contributors. So if you press the first button, Mohan.
One first button of the.
So this is showing, yes, no, the first button, you were right earlier. $412,000, there are 4 lakh donors to the Rotary Foundation. That's the total number. Of these 4 lakh, Mohan, will you press the next button, please? I think we've got yeah, okay, thank you. Thank you very much. So this is the contribution of the $100 to the $250, $249. See the number, 199,000, almost 200,000. And you see the amount, $24 million has come from only $100 to $250. That constitutes 24% of the total giving to the annual fund. Take the next one, Mon. Now this, Mon, don't change any further. I'll tell you when.
Yeah.
The 500 to the 999 is $9 million, which is almost 8.6% of the total. But just above that, you see the next column, above the column, $1,000 to the $2,500. That is $33 million, which constitutes to 32% of the total number, the total contribution to the annual fund. So more now, I want you to press the next 2 buttons.
It's not taking.
Next to home.
Good. So these are the large gifts going up to $1 million, but they are very small in number and they constitute 9%. But look at this next figure, which I show you. Press the next button, Mon. From $25 to $2,500, my friends, what happened to the figure? Is 76%. 76% of the total contributions to the annual fund come from $25 to $2,500. I needed to show this to you, that this is what is extremely important. So, you know, my friends, you can take this off, Mon, take the slide off. We can now, I can almost end this. So thank you. And please let me finish. Yeah, thank you very much. So you have seen the importance of giving to the annual fund. And whenever I speak, wherever I speak, I emphasize that we must contribute to our annual fund and also to polio. And not just the small gifts, but also large contributions. They both matter. But the small gifts I've shown you matter a lot. In this context, I've appealed to donors who are giving large sums. You know, in many districts, they give $25,000, $50,000, $100,000. I have appealed to them that please, from that amount, give a portion of that to the annual fund and to polio. Many have done so. And I want to especially recognize, you know, just like 3182, you have no endowment. You have nobody who is an AKS member. There is a similar district on the other side, on the East Coast, that is in Orissa, district 3262. It also 3261, sorry. Even in 3261, there was no AKS donor. And for the first time, Rotarian A.S. Patnaik came forward to give a total of $250,000 this year. He's given the entire sum this year. And he would have put it all into the endowment. But I approached him and I said, please, can you contribute whatever you think is appropriate to the annual fund, some amount. Yes, I know you'll give to endowment. I know you want to make a directed gift, but please give to the annual fund. I'm very grateful to Rotarian Patnaik, A.S. Patnaik, who has given $86,000 to the annual fund. And that is the strength that Rotarians show that makes our work so special. And I want to especially thank Rotarian Patnaik for doing what I requested him to do, far more than what I thought he would do. So my friends, our foundation does good in the world. But to continue to do that, it needs your support. In the last century, we've given a lot of money. This century, we're giving much more. And we need to do that. We need to give to the annual fund because that is what helps us to do good in the world. As Annie Frank put it so beautifully, no one has ever become poor by giving. It is in giving to others that we really give a gift to ourselves. So I request you, all of you gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen of District 3182 who are sitting here, please give to our foundation, especially to Annual Fund and Polio, so that it serves the needy and ensures that Rotary continues to open opportunities for all those who need Rotary's helping hand. Thank you, good luck, and God bless all of you.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Gulam sir. You have given a aerial focus to the to overall working of the grants and also the contributions, and it has given a lot of picture, basically figurative, so that the people can have their own targets. The people who are sitting here, around 250 people, I request all of you to kindly see that whatever Gulam has given the statistics, you will have your own statistics this year to achieve. So that you can have a target of this year on the basis of this, so that you must surpass the records, whatever that has happened so far, so that we should make a new record, because he has given a new focus to the TRF matter. So thank you, Gulam, for sparing your time with 3182, and on behalf of our district governor Rajaram Bhatt and all of DRFC Narayan and all of us present here and from the 3182, a big thank you to you. We are grateful to you, and we need your guidance and help throughout the year, and also to achieve the targets and whatever. Yes, thank you, sir.
I'm always there, MGR Murthy, and thank you very much for your kind words. My message is simple. If we want to continue to do the global grants, what I have shown you is that we need to give to the annual fund. Rajaram Bhatt, DG Rajaram, DGR, MGR, DRSC, Dr. Narayan, thank you very much. With your permission, if I may be allowed to leave, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. So once again, thanking Mr. Gulam. Now it is over to next DRFC, who is going to be the trustee of the Rotary Foundation. He is eligible and qualified. Let us see what happens. And so let us promote that. Let us promote from our district. Yes, sir. Rotary Foundation grants and overview. Narayan, as you all know, everybody knows what is Narayan, who is Narayan, and what is his achievement and all that. I need not have to tell you. That is why he has also told me not to introduce, because everybody knows me. So definitely, but the total preparation of this district grants management seminar is prepared by him, and he is the man behind for this successful program. I once again thank you, sir, and I request you to present the subject matter on Rotary Foundation grants and overview.
District Governor
Yes.
Rajaram Bhatt, District Governor-elect MGR, all my fellow past governors, DG and Dr. Gauri, DG and the designate Geeta, and my fellow Rotarians from all over the district. I have been in Rotary for practically 50 years now. During Gauri's period, I'll be completing 50 years. During MGR's period, I'll be completing 25 years of my past governorship. So if I need to be introduced into the district, that is not a good record for me. That shows that I have not done my job well. That's why I told him, don't introduce me. I take it that everybody knows me. Anyway, friends, you have heard such a elusive presentation from Trustee Gulam. He has prepared the background for the grants management seminar. I request Tikku and my friends from RISO to excuse me. I'll be switching over to Canada. It will be a sort of a talking language. I may not be doing everything in English. District ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋದ್ರು grants, ನಮಗೊಂದು grant ಕೊಡಿ, ನಮಗೊಂದು grant ಕೊಡಿ. But many of them do not know the ABC of grant. This is something which has to be driven. ಏನಿದು ಗ್ರಾಂಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು, ರೋಟಿ ಫೌಂಡೇಶನ್ ಗ್ರಾಂಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾನು ಸೆಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿರೋ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಏನು, ಓವರ್ ವ್ಯೂ ಆಫ್ ಗ್ರಾಂಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ. ಏನಿದು ಗ್ರಾಂಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು, ರೋಟಿ ಫೌಂಡೇಶನ್ ಗ್ರಾಂಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳೋದಕ್ಕೂ ದಿವಸ ನನ್ನ ಟಾಪಿಕ್ ಅನ್ನು ಸೆಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾನೆ. ಈಗ ಇದನ್ನ ನನ್ನ ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟೇಶನ್ ಮೂಲಕ ನಾನು ಮುಂದೆ ಹೋಗಿ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ಪಡ್ತೇನೆ. ಸ್ನೇಹಿತರೆ, ನೀವು ಇಷ್ಟೊತ್ತು ತನಕ ಕೇಳಿದ್ವಿ ಏನೆಲ್ಲ ಆಗಿದೆ, ಏನೆಲ್ಲ ಕತೆ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ. ಸ್ನೇಹಿತರೆ, ರೋಟರಿ ಫೌಂಡೇಶನ್ ಮಿಷನ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಒಂದೇ ಒಂದು ಸೆಂಟೆನ್ಸ್. The mission of the Rotary Foundation of Rotary International is to enable Rotarians to advance world understanding, goodwill and peace through the improvement of health, support of education and alleviation of poverty. Rotary Foundation ಕಳೆದ 105 ವರ್ಷಗಳಿಂದ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬಂದಿರುವ ಕೆಲಸ ಇದೇನೆ, ಡೂಯಿಂಗ್ ಗುಡ್ ಇನ್ ದ ವರ್ಲ್ಡ್. ಯಾವುದಕ್ಕೆ ಡೂಯಿಂಗ್ ಗುಡ್ ಇನ್ ದ ವರ್ಲ್ಡ್? ಟು ಇಂಪ್ರೂವ್ ದಿ ಹೆಲ್ತ್, ಟು ಸಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಎಜುಕೇಶನ್, ಅಲಿವಿಯೇಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಪಾವರ್ಟಿ. ಫ್ರಮ್ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಇಯರ್ ನಿಂದ ಎನ್ವಿರಾನ್ಮೆಂಟಲ್ ಇಶ್ಯೂಸ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಸಹಿತ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಇದರ ಈಕ್ವೇಶನ್ ಟು ರಿಸೀವ್ ಥ್ರೂ ಯುವರ್ ಜನರಾಸಿಟಿ. ಇಷ್ಟೊತ್ತು ತನಕ ಗುಲಾಮ್ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು, ನೀವು ಕೊಡ್ತಿರೋ ದುಡ್ಡು ಹೇಗೆ, ಎಲ್ಲಿ, ಏನು, ಎಷ್ಟು, ಅದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ವಿಸ್ತಾರವಾಗಿ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಇಡೀ ರೋಟರಿ ಫೌಂಡೇಶನ್ ನಡೀತಿರೋದು ನೀವು ಕೊಡ್ತಿರೋ ಕಾಂಟ್ರಿಬ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಇಂದ, ಯುವರ್ ಜನರಾಸಿಟಿ, ರೋಟೇರಿಯನ್ಸ್ ಜನರಾಸಿಟಿ. ಅಂಡ್ ಮುಂದಿನ ಈಕ್ವೇಶನ್ ಏನಪ್ಪಾ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ಇದನ್ನ ಹೇಗೆ ಸ್ಪೆಂಡ್ ಮಾಡೋದು, ನೀವು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರೋ ದುಡ್ಡನ್ನ ಸ್ಪೆಂಡ್ ಮಾಡೋ ಇದು. ದಿಸ್ ಅಮೌಂಟ್ಸ್ ಟು ಗ್ರಾಂಟ್ಸ್ ಗಿವ್ ವಿತ್ ಮಚ್ ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸಿಬಿಲಿಟಿ. ರೋಟರಿ ಫೌಂಡೇಶನ್ ಮೇಲೆ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಜವಾಬ್ದಾರಿ ಇದೆ. ನೀವು ನಂಬಿಕೆಯಿಂದ ಕೊಟ್ಟ ದುಡ್ಡನ್ನ ಸರಿಯಾದ ಸ್ಥಳಕ್ಕೆ, ಸರಿಯಾದ ಜನರಿಗೆ, ಸರಿಯಾದ ಕಾರಣಕ್ಕೆ ಸಿಗೋದು ರೋಟರಿ ಫೌಂಡೇಶನ್ ಇಂದ ಜವಾಬ್ದಾರಿ. ರೋಟರಿ ಫೌಂಡೇಶನ್ ನ ಮೂಲ ತತ್ವ ಏನಪ್ಪಾ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ನೀವು ಕೊಡ್ತಿರೋ ಗಿಫ್ಟ್ ಎಷ್ಟೇ ಇರಲಿ, $1 ಇರಲಿ, $1000 ಇರಲಿ, AKS ಮೆಂಬರ್ ಆಗ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ $250,000 ಇರಲಿ, ಅದನ್ನ ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಕನ್ವರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ರೋಟರಿ ಫೌಂಡೇಶನ್ ಮ್ಯಾಜಿಕ್. ಇದನ್ನ ಮ್ಯಾಜಿಕ್ ಅಂತಾನೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾನೆ. ದುಡ್ಡನ್ನ ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಕನ್ವರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ಬಹುಶಃ ಪ್ರಪಂಚದಲ್ಲಿ ಬೇರೆ ಯಾವ ಸಂಘಟನೆ ಇರ್ಲಿಕ್ಕಿಲ್ಲ. ರೋಟರಿ ಫೌಂಡೇಶನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಇದು ಈ ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಕನ್ವರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ರೋಟರಿ ಗ್ರಾಂಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೇವೆ. ರೋಟರಿ ಗ್ರಾಂಟ್ಸ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡೋ ಉದ್ದೇಶ ನಾನು ಇನ್ನು 10 ನಿಮಿಷ ನಿಮ್ ಜೊತೆಗಿದ್ದೇನೆ. ಏನು ರೋಟರಿ ಗ್ರಾಂಟ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು? ದೇರ್ ಆರ್ 4 types of grants. ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಬಹಳ 2 ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್. ಗ್ಲೋಬಲ್ ಗ್ರಾಂಟ್ ನೀವು ಕೇಳಿದ್ದೀವಿ, ಇದನ್ನ ಅದು ಮುಂದೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾನೆ. ಏನಿದು ಗ್ಲೋಬಲ್ ಗ್ರಾಂಟ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು, ಇದನ್ನ ಹೇಗೆ ಮಾಡೋದು, ಹೇಗೆ ಈ ಗ್ರಾಂಟಿಗೆ ನಾವು ಹೇಗೆ ಎಂಟರ್ ಆಗ್ಬೋದು ಅನ್ನೋ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮುಂದೆ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾನೆ. ಇನ್ ದ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಒನ್ ಇಸ್ ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ಟ್ ಗ್ರಾಂಟ್ಸ್. ದೀಸ್ ಆರ್ ದಿ 2 important practical grants every Rotarian should know. Every Rotary president should know how to go about these grants. ಇದ್ರ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು 2-3 ಇದೆ. ರೋಟರಿ ಡಿಸಾಸ್ಟರ್ ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸ್ ಗ್ರಾಂಟ್ಸ್. ಹೋದ ವರ್ಷ ಪ್ಯಾಂಡಮಿಕ್ ಬಂದಾಗ ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ಟಿಗೂ $25,000 ಕೊಟ್ಟು ಪ್ಯಾಂಡಮಿಕ್ ಏನ್ ಸಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಏನೇ ಡಿಸಾಸ್ಟರ್ ಬರಲಿ, ಈಗ ಯಾರಿಂದನೇ ಬಂದಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಪೆಷಲ್ ಗ್ರಾಂಟ್ ಕೇಳೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ರೋಟರಿ ಡಿಸಾಸ್ಟರ್ ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸ್ ಗ್ರಾಂಟ್ಸ್. ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಆಫ್ ಸ್ಕೇಲ್ ಗ್ರಾಂಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ, ಹ್ಯೂಜ್ ಗ್ರಾಂಟ್ಸ್. ಇದು ಸಣ್ಣ ಪುಟ್ಟ ಗ್ರಾಂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲ. ರೋಟರಿ ಫೌಂಡೇಶನ್ ಗ್ರಾಂಟ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ನಾವು $30,000 ಇಂದ ಮೇಲೆ ಹೋದ್ರೆ, ಇದು ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ಸ್ ವಿತ್ $200,000. ಈ ತರ ಮೆಗಾ ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡಕ್ ಸಾಧ್ಯ. ಇದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ರೋಟರಿ ಡಿಸಾಸ್ಟರ್ ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸ್ ಗ್ರಾಂಟ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ, ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಆಫ್ ಸ್ಕೇಲ್ ಗ್ರಾಂಟ್ಸ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಾನು ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಮಾತಾಡೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಇವತ್ತು ಮಾತಾಡೋದು ಪೂರ ಗ್ಲೋಬಲ್ ಗ್ರಾಂಟ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ಟ್ ಗ್ರಾಂಟ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತ್ರ. ಏನಿದು ಗ್ಲೋಬಲ್ ಗ್ರಾಂಟ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? ಗ್ಲೋಬಲ್ ಗ್ರಾಂಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಎ ಲಾರ್ಜ್ ಲಾಂಗ್ ಟರ್ಮ್ ಹ್ಯುಮ್ಯಾನಿಟೇರಿಯನ್ ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್. ಸಣ್ಣ ಪುಟ್ಟದಲ್ಲ, ಲಾಂಗ್ ಟರ್ಮ್. It should be a large project. Minimum size of a global grant is $30,000. That means 22.5 lakhs of rupees under the current exchange rate. Humanitarian. ಮಾನವ ಜೀವನವನ್ನ ಉತ್ತಮಪಡಿಸೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಲಾಂಗ್ ಟರ್ಮ್. ಇವತ್ತು ಒಂದ್ ದಿವಸ ಮಾಡಿ ಬಿಡೋದಲ್ಲ, ಒಂದ್ಸತಿ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ ತನಕ ಒಂದು ಜನರೇಷನ್, 2 ಜನರೇಷನ್ ಅದರ ಇಂಪ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಟಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕು. ಇಟ್ ಕುಡ್ ಇನ್ಕ್ಲೂಡ್ ಸ್ಕಾಲರ್ಶಿಪ್ಸ್ ಅಥವಾ ವೊಕೇಶನಲ್ ಟ್ರೈನಿಂಗ್ ಟೀಮ್ಸ್. ಇವೆರಡು ನಮ್ಮ ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೆಚ್ಚಿಗೆ ಬಳಕೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಹ್ಯುಮ್ಯಾನಿಟೇರಿಯನ್ ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಗೆ ಬಹಳ ಡಿಮ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಸ್ಕಾಲರ್ಶಿಪ್ ಮತ್ತು VTT ನಾವು ಆಫ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿಲ್ಲ. ಬಟ್ ದೇರ್ ಆರ್ ಪಾಸಿಬಿಲಿಟೀಸ್. ಹಿಂದೆ ನಾವು ಏನು ರೋಟರಿ ಫೌಂಡೇಶನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂಬಾಸಿಡೋರಿಯಲ್ ಸ್ಕಾಲರ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ವಿ, ಅದನ್ನ ಈ ಸ್ಕಾಲರ್ಶಿಪ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಗ್ಲೋಬಲ್ ಗ್ರಾಂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲೂ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಉಂಟು. ವೊಕೇಶನಲ್ ಟ್ರೈನಿಂಗ್ ಟೀಮ್ಸ್, ಹಿಂದೆ ಏನು ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಚೇಂಜ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ವಿ, ಅದ್ರ ಬದಲು ವೊಕೇಶನಲ್ ಟ್ರೈನಿಂಗ್ ಗೆ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಕಡೆ ಕಳಿಸಿ ಅವರ ಸ್ಕಿಲ್ ಅನ್ನ ಇಂಪ್ರೂವ್ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಸ್ಪೆಷಲ್ ಗ್ರಾಂಟ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನು ತಗೊಳ್ಳೋಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಉಂಟು. ಸ್ಪೆಷಾಲಿಟಿ ಗ್ಲೋಬಲ್ ಗ್ರಾಂಟಿನ ವಿಶೇಷ ಏನಪ್ಪಾ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಟ್ ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸ್ ಟು ರಿಯಲ್ ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಟಿ ನೀಡ್ಸ್. ಸಮಾಜಕ್ಕೆ ಏನ್ ಬೇಕು, ಸಮಾಜಕ್ಕಾಗಿ, ಸಮಾಜದಿಂದ, ಸಮಾಜಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಮಾಡ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಗ್ರಾಂಟ್ ಗ್ಲೋಬಲ್ ಗ್ರಾಂಟ್. ಅಂಡ್ ಇಟ್ ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ ಸಸ್ಟೈನಬಲ್. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇವತ್ತು ಮಾಡಿ ಬಿಡೋದಲ್ಲ, ಮಾಡಿದ್ರಿ ಅದರಿಂದ ಏನು ಪರಿಣಾಮ ಆಯ್ತು, measurable outcomes ಇರಬೇಕು. For example, if you equip a school with certain infrastructure facilities, you should be able to show what is the improvement you have seen in the school admission ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ ರಿಸಲ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಏನ್ ಇಂಪ್ರೂವ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದೆ ಅಂತ ತೋರ್ಸೋದಕ್ಕೆ ರೆಡಿ ಆಗಬೇಕು. ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಏನೋ ಮಾಡಿ ನಮ್ ಖುಷಿ ಗುದಿಸ ಮಾಡೋದಲ್ಲ, ಅದ್ರ ಇಂಪ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಮೆಜರ್ ಮಾಡೋಕೆ ನಾವು ರೆಡಿ ಆಗಬೇಕು. ಅಂಡ್ ಅಲೈನ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ವಿತ್ ಏರಿಯಾಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಫೋಕಸ್. ರೋಟರಿ ಫೌಂಡೇಶನ್ ಯಾವಾಗ್ಲೂ ಅಲೈನ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ವಿತ್ ಏರಿಯಾಸ್ ಫೋಕಸ್, ಯಾವ ಏರಿಯಾಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಫೋಕಸ್ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಅಲೈನ್ ಆಗ್ಲೇಬೇಕು. ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಎಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲೋ ಏನೋ ಮಾಡಕ್ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಅಂಡ್ ದ ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಕ್ರೂಷಿಯಲ್ is international partnership. Tikku is going to tell about this international partnership at a later stage. ನಮ್ಮ RRFC ಇದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡೋರಿದ್ದಾರೆ. These are the basic features of a global grant. ಫಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಹೇಗೆ ಗ್ಲೋಬಲ್ ಗ್ರಾಂಟ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಂಡು ನಾನು ಅವಾಗ ಹೇಳಿದೆ, ನೀವು ಕೊಟ್ಟ ದುಡ್ಡನ್ನ ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಕನ್ವರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ಫಂಡಿಂಗ್. ಇದು ದುಡ್ಡು ಎಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಗ್ಲೋಬಲ್ ಗ್ರಾಂಟಿಗೆ? ನಾನು ಎಲ್ಲೋ ಒಂದು ಹಂತದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳಿದೆ, ಮಿನಿಮಮ್ ಸೈಜ್ ಆಫ್ ಎ ಗ್ಲೋಬಲ್ ಗ್ರಾಂಟ್ ಈ $30,000. ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಟಿ